313, the show that brings solutions to the concerns and issues of women.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Detroit Class 313. My name is Pablo, executive producer of Detroit Class 313. I'll be sitting in for True Johnson tonight. We have a very special show. Tonight's show is sponsored by Redford Auto Care, where you can go get your car treated like family. He will take care of you. Just go over there and see Ali and tell him Pablo told you to come. Now, tonight we have a special show. We have two guests. Our first guest is a professor at U of D. She's a dental professor. She teaches dentists and dental hygienists their jobs. She's an expert in dentistry. And tonight, she's going to explain to women how they can take care of their teeth, different things that goes on in their bodies that cause their teeth to go bad. So without further ado, how you doing today, Professor Seldon?
Barbara Seldon, how are you?
I'm good. How you feel today?
Good, really good, thank you.
So, tell us about, what's that word,
Periodontitis?
Yes.
Well, let me just kind of begin. First of all, I guess I really want to say to the audience that's listening that the mouth is the first place in the body where we begin to introduce things that can make us either healthy or sick. Oftentimes, we think that the mouth is separate from the body, but it is one whole. And whatever happens to the mouth also happens to the rest of the body. I'm on the program today because I want to talk a little bit about issues in dentistry relative to women. Now, you would think, well, a tooth is a tooth, but that isn't necessarily so. In actuality, the mouth, as it relates to women, changes as we go through phases. There is an organization, and it's called the Institute of Medicine. They did a study, and they said, what is the difference between dental health for women and dental health for men? And they decided there are some things that are unique to women, and they divided it into 3 phases. The first one is puberty. The second one is the menenses.
What is that again?
Menenses, that's menstruation.
Okay.
And the third one is perimenopausal.
Okay.
Each time a lady or a woman goes through those phases, they go through hormonal changes. That makes a big difference in their mouth. So there are oral manifestations of dental diseases relative to those phases. And that's what I'd like to talk about today.
Okay, that's good. One of the things that we were talking about while we were discussing your profession was that you had mentioned that there's a relationship between periodontitis and weight loss in preterm infants. Can you explain?
Yes, because first of all, you need to have your teeth cleaned at least twice a year. And if you don't do that, the mouth will build up what's called plaque. The plaque will turn into something that's called calculus. The calculus will sit on the teeth and create disease. It would form these biofilms, and these bacteria and these microbes will get in there and they will sit on those teeth and create disease. This impact will go through the circulatory system, and if the woman is pregnant, it will have an effect on the baby. And what they have found is that when a woman has this disease called periodontitis, that it will, in fact, have an effect on when the baby's being born. Not only will they be born low in weight, but they will come early. So we want to be sure that we educate women. It's really important for you to have your teeth cleaned at least twice a year, and you may have to have it done a little more often when you're pregnant to be sure that this biofilm and these microbes are not staying on the teeth and having a positive impact on the developing fetus.
Now, does pregnancy cause tooth loss? I was told to ask that question.
Well, everybody thinks that you go to the dentist, the baby's born, You look at the mouth and there's a lot of decay. It looks like the calcium has come out of the teeth. And the first thing they say is, oh, I just had a baby and the baby needed the calcium, so the baby took the calcium from my teeth. Research shows that, in fact, once enamel is formed, it is a crystalline formation, and there's nothing that can take that calcium from that tooth. So the real reasons why this person is having the decay is generally because during the second trimester and the third trimester, they get very tired, and they don't really pay as much attention to themselves as they should, and so their mouths don't get as clean because they just don't feel like doing all the things of brushing their teeth and flossing their teeth and using the antimicrobials like they should. And so this is probably more a reason why they have had the decay than the fact that maybe the baby took the calcium from the teeth. In fact, that is not true.
Now, Professor, I have a personal question.
Sure.
Which is better?
Yes.
Flossing before brushing or
That's a fantastic
brushing
question.
before flossing? Because I've heard different opinions on that.
And research says it really doesn't matter, but I'm biased. And my bias is this. If you brush your teeth really good, rinse out and spit out, then floss, whatever's in between the teeth comes out and is still in your mouth. So the thing you really need to do is to floss those teeth really first and then brush second. So I say floss first, brush second. I say that you really don't need to floss but once a day. Just one time a day, and that's at night before you go to bed. So the regimen would be floss those teeth really good, rinse out. Brush those teeth thoroughly, including your tongue and the other areas of your mouth. Rinse out thoroughly, and then use an antimicrobial rinse. That's a rinse like Listerine, or they have Crest Pro Health. There are many of them that are out on the market now that actually has an impact on the bacteria in the mouth and prevents it from creating disease or causing disease. So it kind of, and once you rinse for 30 seconds, spit out, but do not re-rinse with water because you dilute it and you reduce the effect. So be sure you rinse for 30 seconds. So floss, brush. Rinse 30 seconds, spit it out, go to bed.
Okay, I have another question.
Yes.
Does flossing, you know how some people's teeth bleed? Mm-hmm. Now, does flossing, does flossing make that go away?
Yes and no.
Okay.
First of all, if your gums are bleeding, you have what's called gingivitis. Gingiva is just another term for gums. Itis means inflammation. So you got gum inflammation. What causes the gums to be inflamed? Plaque. Plaque and its bacterial byproducts. So you've got to make sure you get the plaque off the teeth or the gums are going to bleed.
Now,
yes.
right.
Okay, so if you don't get the plaque off the teeth, you're going to get the bleeding. Now, if you get the plaque off the teeth before it gets hard and turn to calculus, then you will see that the gums will begin to lose the bleeding, the blood vessels will constrict, the flow of blood will stop, the gums will tighten up closer to the teeth, and then you will eliminate the bleeding. So you'll get rid of gingivitis. Flossing and brushing together, combined, will make sure of that. But if the byproduct stays on the tooth long enough to turn hard, you can't brush it off, then you're going to have to go to the dentist or the dental hygienist, and they're going to have to remove it by scaling and root planing.
Now, how young should you be when you start flossing?
According to the pediatric dentist, they generally would like to see the child about 6 months to make sure that they're having proper cranial facial growth and development, making sure that head is growing properly, that jaw is coming in properly, and there are not any issues, okay? And then when it comes time for preventive dental care, you want to probably start about 1 year of age, not necessarily to clean their teeth, but to examine their mouths for sure. But what you really want to do is to introduce them to the dentist office, help to eliminate fears, and make sure that they have a positive impact, a positive experience so that they'll enjoy coming to the dentist. Things that are done early are continued early. Positive attitudes and experiences done early will continue for a lifetime.
Well, you know, Professor Seldon, I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you.
I have granddaughters, and their teeth is very important.
Yes.
You know, I put braces on my daughters because teeth are very important. It's what the world sees when they first see you. Again, we have Professor Barbara Seldon. She's associate professor at the Department of Dental Hygiene and Periodontology at the University of Detroit. Once again, I'd like to say thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And
there are so many issues I wanted to talk about.
Well, we got another minute. Is something you want to?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I never talk about prepubescence. What happens when those hormonals really change? What happens to the mouth? You do get gingivitis. It's really important to make sure that your child as a teenager watch their diet and make sure that they understand that they need to make sure they thoroughly clean their teeth while they're going through this hormonal change, okay? And if they don't do that, you'll see, and I had some pictures to show you, but I don't have them with me today, where the gums will get really red and bleeding during those hormonal changes. Second of all, if they're taking birth control.
What we're going to have you back. I hear the music.
Okay.
But once again, it was so good having you here.
Thank you.
And believe me, you are coming back.
Okay. I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
All your major and minor auto service come to Redford Auto Repair. We do it all. Engines, transmission, and electrical. Our specials, front or rear brake pads, $50 out the door. Free engine diagnostic test. Oil change starting at $16.99. 100% customer satisfaction guaranteed. 4 locations to serve you. 2 on West 8 Mile Road, west of Evergreen. Telegraph Road, north of Chicago and Redford Township. 6 Mile in Schaefer. Come in today.